Early November 2025 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. I'm shooting this on the 15th and I may start with just a few snaps to give you a flavour of the content of this. It's 2 weeks worth of photos. Just 1.5 minutes of photos give you a flavour of some of the better material in the photo trails. I won't bother to give the commentary, you need to see the details for that. And so, of course, the important things are the people, which sometimes go together with places. And that's Toadie, of course. And IOL University, meeting up there with people. And of course in the village. There's Toadie again. So fairly typical of the stuff, including some of the interesting guys in the village. And some I hadn't met before. I wonder who that guy is. Yeah, in the Blend and Brew that was. I do tend to eat well. In the village, that is. Yeah, almost this day reminded me of my granddad, Harold Sharp. And there's Toadie, up to mischief as usual. Yeah, that looks like one of the places we ate. Other guys. Now we're going to the standard introduction. This is where we live. At 22 Armitage Court in Sunninghill. Warning signs about fierce guard cats. You may get a glimpse of Toadie. And this spot had been known for some years as Robin's Corner, and where GPS was tested from the late 1980s. Basically this spot here. Oh, that's the bit of garden sculpture. You're always getting a bit mossy, isn't it? Or whatever that is, I don't know. That's what June got Robin as a birthday present a few years ago. Yes, the oak tree that sprang up from an acorn while we were here. And yes, accommodation for owls that have never been taken up. Pussycats have taken interest. And yes, here's Snoopy's robot boat. No work on that. Explains why. Snoopy the Viking at the front. And of course, this would be a pretty boring trail for most people, but it's a aid to my memory and anybody who may want to help with property maintenance in the broadest sense. So, leaves everywhere. We did make a bit of progress clearing up some, but there's still lots more. And here's June's car with promotion of the website gpss.co.uk. that was a hobby, was a business decades ago, but is now hobbies like the robot boat across the Atlantic and charitable causes, which are mostly about putting people in contact with the right people or information. So where are we going to go next? Well, yeah, we do the standard tour. There's the bicycle. You'd have seen it on other ones. Haven't got it on the road yet. That was an earlier project, which is somewhere to put the dustbins. Warning signs everywhere because there's accommodation there for the guard cats. You occasionally see Bentley from across the road, and that's the other fort. And of course it's not just cats, it's armed mice. And not sure what's happened to the warnings. Oh yes, there we go. Beware of the mouse. That should be mice. Oh, that's been there some time. And around the side of the house, we don't recommend you go through there for lots of reasons, mostly health and safety. Right, so coming round to the front door, You can see tools left there from the last little session of clearing up leaves. There's the camper, more of that in a moment. And before we go into the house, I have to read out some health and safety warnings that have been here for many years. So where shall we start? Well, it does say here, CCTV, hidden TV cameras inside and outside this house. Sound and video is monitored in local houses and elsewhere. No trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. I hasten to add, this is all jokes, because some people say, oh, you daren't say that. Anyhow, yeah, there's one camera. There's many of them, including that one that would have caught me coming in. But it was mostly there for the wildlife, because what we have here is a peanut feeder that needs to be topped up. And oh, there's all sorts of animals come through for that, so that's why that camera was put there originally. But yes, the camper, that was June's bright idea a few years ago. And the thing I always point out is the battle damage. June said Robin did it. Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. Now, there's lots of good reasons for not removing that. I mean, who's going to steal that camper? He'd have to be a complete idiot. Anyhow, or she. Yes, that's the flatulent fairy. The cardboard box, that's ready for stuff like Halloween stuff to be put away. And yeah, peanuts there for birds. Yeah, junk everywhere. I think that's pretty well the front. So maybe I can risk going into the house. So let's see. And oh, there is Toady, our guard cat. Hello, Toady. You can't see him. He's very stealthy with black. Yes, that's what I'm using for shooting this. And I always point it out. The expensive Renoir that we've got on the, we've had that for many, many years. So coming into the kitchen, and there we are, good time in here. So Samantha and June, and guess what they got on television? It's tennis from Torino, Turin in Italy. So lots of other things here. Yeah, that's just in case. And so that was a job incomplete, which is the temporary mirrors, but very good result in terms of light in the kitchen. So that could be done better, but there are other jobs that are far more important. Oh yeah, I often point this out. Memories of holidays, including in Sicily and lots of other places. Oh, perhaps I'll point that out. That was Sardinia, and yeah, bugger you. Interesting name of a village. Anyhow, coming back through, a quick glance of my study, and here we go. Lots of stuff on the walls, including memories of old friends. And in fact, doing that reminds me of something I didn't point out at the beginning, which is very important for health and safety, which is, before I went in, here he is, he's coming out. Oh, hello, Toady. No mischief. Yes, one thing I didn't point out was my study is through there, and there's one sign, do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. But perhaps one of the most important signs of the lot, particularly for health and safety, because cameras are the least you have to worry about, is this. Home of mad ex-NATO scientist Robin Lovelock. Beware of web cameras and water squirters. Loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these. Or would he? Just a joke, of course, but you can't be sure. Right, into the house again. Yes, there's stuff about tennis everywhere, and I'm going to be doing a tour of the garden, give a snapshot of that. Oh, there's the closed circuit TV, and there's Toadie on guard duty, keeping an eye open for things. He usually sleeps on duty. This is Robin's naughty corner, where I tend to relax and quite often doze and go off to sleep in front of the closed circuit TV. This is the lounge. It's not too bad as far as some places go, but I use this opportunity to point out what is becoming higher on the list, which is to tidy up the games room. The amount of junk, and yes, a lot of it can be thrown away. Some of it can be given away to charities or people that are interested, but it would be great to get this room back to what it was many decades ago, where we can actually, well, June likes it to have dinner here, but of course it's a games room, and there's a snooker table under that lot. Lots of jobs that were, well, no time to do more of, but often the situation is online. So just a snapshot of that. It's all where help can be given, and property maintenance is in the category of sorting out stuff. But rather than just throwing stuff away, there can be very important stuff like old family photos and things. Right, that gives you that lot. Oh, that was the Halloween stuff. So that's high on their list to put this in the right place. And we got cardboard boxes and things, so that'll probably end up going into the summer house that you'll get a glimpse of in due course. So, on the off chance you're still watching this, into the lounge, and I've already shown you Robin's naughty corner and the closed circuit TV. Of course, cameras are failing all the time. Some work, some don't. And right, I think it's time to go out into the garden. Of course, leaves everywhere at this time, and so yes, a lot of tidying up. And I do confess that I did run the tap and top up this pond and also clean some of the leaves out, because this is a little feature, the peeing Brussels boy, but he's not able to do that at the moment because he's blocked up. But I'm quite proud of that. And of course there's other things out here like peanut feeder, he's topping up with that bit of Greek stuff there. In all things of nature there is something of the marvellous, quote from Aristotle. And so that's the top pond. You'd have seen this in photo trials. Cat fort there, another one over there. So now down the garden, and the main thing you'll see is lots of leaves have gathered up. And of course this could be a little game for small kids, and we've got all the tools for it. There's the telescope that Robin built as a boy, or at least the optics for it. No chance to do anything on that. Yes, Finocchi, wild fennel from Sicily. Another one there. Coming down the garden, put that in. I want to make it a bit easier for coming down. I may as well go round the edge of the, this is the top pond. We've got 3 ponds altogether, and of course all the water comes off the roof, and if the drains aren't blocked, it should flow into the top pond, and then that overflows into the next pond, and then down the end of the garden to the bog garden area. So I'll go round here. This is all part of the process of anybody who's going to do it. Inside this box here is the battery and power for the pumps, and the pumps at the moment are a bit blocked up. Right, so that's the top pond. There are fishes in these ponds, believe it or not, and there's a hose running, still topping that up. No lack of work to be done. It's a matter of knowing where tools are, and you'll come to that in due course. Here's the surviving gunrum anticata, or giant rhubarb, and that looks as though it's going to be okay. Looking down onto there, and we're coming down to the area that good work was done earlier in the year of a number of things, making more sky available so it still gets more, so it gets more sun, and there's more work to be done in cutting more of those branches back. But the important thing is the stream into the bog garden. Of course, you can't get any benefit of of looking at it because all the leaves, but in due course it'll probably take another hour. That reservoir will top up and overflow, and of course we've been planting the right things, and so all this stuff appears on the photo trails, and that's a lovely place to sit, and that's it. And oh yes, that's the little feature, only done in the last few days, which is my old pair of shoes, and make a feature of those. So a lot of the acorns tend to go on this corner, so no lack of those for squirrels and things. Yes, mosquito zapper. Oh yes, that's worth pointing out. The proper name is there, but most people won't realise that that is cannabis. Yes, and it is legal because, and then we've got another one here, cannabis. But there are quite a lot of variety of cannabis, and this one is called industrial cannabis, and because it can be also used for, as it has done for thousands of years, for making clothes and rope and all the rest of it. It has other terms. So hemp is another one. Here's more plants. So we got all the right plants in, and lots of scope around here for more lights that come on at night. So because leaves are the main thing, I made these compost heaps a bit higher. Makes it easier to do that, so I'm just showing you those. This is June's washing line. Junk in this corner. There we go, no lack of space. That can be cleared when there's time. And I might as well point it out, this shed here, no lock on it. And it's got a few things like chainsaws and things. It's in fact a year or two back at least, it's solar powered, so it's got mains inside. Right, we're working our way around. This is now the practical things of where do you find tools. Now suppose you were going to mow the lawn. I haven't done that for months, but, and of course there's the front lawn as well, but you come through and say, well, there's a lawnmower, there's a strimmer, those are electrical, and there's other garden tools here. And of course that is an important job which is outstanding, which is to put everything in the right place so it can easily be found. And we're coming up past the summer house, still on the subject of where tools are. So yeah, there's power available there with an extension, so typically mowing the lawn, you get that out the whole job no more than probably half an hour, including getting stuff out, mowing the lawn and putting things back. And of course the important part is putting the leaves, or rather grass cuttings, on the pile. So there's a glance. You would have seen this in the photo trails, but might as well do it on the video. Yeah, so this is the workshop, and we can still put more tools in the right place. We've got the space for it, just a matter of finding time or somebody to help do it. That's it. There we go. Hammers, files, spanners and other tools. Right, I think I may as well have a glimpse of inside the summer house, or as Robin calls it, his laboratory. And yes, it has got things like the smallest robot boat made so far, not suitable for a transatlantic attempt, and stuff here which is for any work on the robot boat, and that's been outstanding. It's documented what needs to be done. Yes, a few uniforms there if I'm attending an event. I don't like to be outranked. And yes, Snoopy, and there are various other things. Don't know if that's the correct time. No, it's miles out. Not to worry. Other stuff in here, space to put things, but no time yet to have things put in the right place. Now I'm working my way out. And yes, yet another cat fort in terrible disrepair. And yes, bug palace and other things. So generally a lot of the easy work, I say easy, kids could do it, but needs time. Oh, that's the sundial. Functions, but June's roses grow up and it means it doesn't work quite so well. Yeah, mementos like old sores from family and things. Right, I think I've pretty well done the tour, but I won't miss anything out, because I've said many times, somebody wants to case the joint. Well, it's not a good idea if they were thinking of pinching anything, because first of all, there's probably nothing worth pinching. That's June's greenhouse. More junk, but June decide what to do with that. She doesn't like throwing labels away for plants. Yeah, sorry about the politically incorrect artwork on the water butt. That's the route that the cats can get in and out of the house. Yeah, guard cats. That's looking into the kitchen. Yeah, they're probably still watching the telly. And that's where a fair bit number of materials, things like plastic piping, wood. Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, so got often scrap wood. It's got use for other things, so if necessary, it can be sawn up. And then this brings us back out where the dustbins are, to the front that you had already seen. So you're glad to know that this is, I can't imagine anybody's managed to play this far, but we're about to go into those photo trails of the couple of weeks which were the first 2 weeks of November. So back into the patio area, and we're going to those photo trails now, and they will be long photo trails, I warn you, and boring. Saturday the 1st of November 2025. Yes, I put on that poppy that I'd got several days earlier, and perhaps Toady would like one on his forehead. Anyhow, here are the photos in the order shot. Yes, the end of October video was processed and uploaded to YouTube, and June's putting things back to as they were, just for a change. Lots of Halloween stuff to be collected, so I better do a bit of work. And I collected those lamps that I'd brought round from the very back. They're the flickering solar powered lamps. So I did all the hard work of walking around the side of the house to the back garden and using it as an opportunity to take some photographs to show all the leaves that are down already, even though we haven't had a frost or significant wind yet. Well, we did have a bit of wind, but not frost. And yes, so I've taken those lamps down, and you can you can see how many leaves need to be pulled up, but probably no point in rushing to do it, since a lot more will be coming down. Yes, so that was that hard work of taking those lamps down to the back garden, and they're coming up to the porch, and that's where June has put the Halloween gear in cardboard box in the untidy games room that's been queued to have work done on it for years now. But of course we've got to put things in the right place and then throw away stuff we don't need and or give away. And so there's a record of how much stuff is still in there. What we're going to do about that? Ooh, those treats. I better find something useful to do with those, especially while they're distracted watching tennis on the television. So back into the lounge. Yes, tennis, wherever that's from. Right, looks like I'm off out. Probably down to the village, I expect. Yes, past the robot boat. Nothing done on that for practically years now. And yeah, into the village. Yes, you see this poppies up. Into the blend and brew. Have a coffee. Then my usual. And then into the Comrades Club. Oh yes, I like those those signs that were put up for Halloween the day before. Yes, pretty quiet in the Comrades Club. Horse racing by the look of it. So a little bit of time there, then back into the blend and brew for another coffee. Backwards and forwards, yeah, it looks like Comrades Club again. And oh yes, probably showing how chilly it was, the fact I had my hood up. It looks like it's still processing that video, which is the end of October video, which includes the Halloween. And I thought I'd see a rainbow because a passing shower, but there wasn't one. And there's Toady. He decided to join me down in the seating area down at the end. Hello, Toady. Oh yes, and then visit by Pal and Raj. Hi Raj, and then they leave. And Toady, of course, was keeping an eye on them. Yeah, just for a change, she's watching tennis again. 5 to 6 in the evening. That processing is coming along. And listening to the Radio 4 news. I've done some rough calculations based on when I started that processing of the video, and I think I made a rough guess it might have finished processing at about 7 o'clock in the evening. Now it looks like the video chat with family, and Toady decided to join June and also interact with particularly Michelle and Lady. Right, looks like I'm off to the village, and since it's the evening I'm probably going down there to eat somewhere, I'm guessing. So where am I going to eat in the village? Yes, could be the Flame or Sorrentino. It looks like it's the Flame. So have my usual cheeseburger, and then into the Comrades Club. They've still got the decorations up from the Halloween, and then out and back home. And right, oh yes, so she's watching Strictly Come Dancing, and totally wondering what he's going to do next. Videos. I started the interrupted by different things. Uploading the video onto YouTube. Oh yes, those trick or treats. I wonder. Well, it's the treats, isn't it? Well, she's still distracted watching Strictly, and yes, it looked as though it went up very well, and I was quite surprised by the good choice automatically of picture. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Sunday the 2nd of November 2025. Yes, I got another poppy in the Comrades Club. Thought, yes, might go on Toady, perhaps on his forehead. I'm sure somebody would tell me where to stick it. Yes, June's watching tennis in the kitchen, and I went through my usual morning routine. Yes, well, it was in the afternoon by then, up to 10 degrees centigrade, not too bad. And yeah, snaps around the garden, particularly the back garden, going down towards the end to do things like top up the bird feeders. And you'll see quite a few leaves. Yes, lots of leaves down there, but there'll be far more, as I've said several times, after we get a frost and a bit of wind. So that's down the end. Yes, nice seating area there. Oh, looks like that's round the front. Yes, look at all those leaves and acorns. Yes, need to do something about that. Looks like I'm off down to the village, probably to force myself to have lunch in the Blend and Brew. Yes, and then probably into the Comrades Club for a little bit of relaxation and chatter. Yes, I think there was a glimpse of people we know. And then back home. And what's next? Yes, June's watching tennis, just for a change. And yes, I had a bit of a relax, a bit of a doze for a while, woke up, and a bit later by then. So went down again. Yes, lights are beginning to come on. So it's after sunset, I should think, by then. And down the end of the garden, yes, the lights are starting to come on. That one in the middle wasn't on. Put my hand over it and that triggered it. Probably came on a minute or two earlier than it would have done. There's Toady. He'd followed me down. Or crept down there somewhere. Yes, that mosquito zapper's coming on as well. So gradually working my way back up the garden again. Oh yes, look in the kitchen window. There's June, busy making something or other. Into the patio area, into the lounge. Yes, sorting out stuff. Listening to the Radio 4 news. Processing of the video from the day before, including putting a voice commentary on it, like I'm doing now. Oh yes, COVID graph. And update the COVID page. Keep the printouts. And what else? Well, I think coming up to 7 o'clock, perhaps time to go down to the village. Have the evening dinner, or whatever you call it. Yes, Riyadh. That brings back memories. Right, so I'm off down to the village. Obviously quite dark by then. Dustbins are out. And yeah, so where to go? Yes, into the Flame Kebab. And had my usual cheeseburger. And then into the Comrades Club. That's where I got the poppy. And there was quite a bit of banter. And I crept back and took a couple of pictures through the window of Adriano and another guy. Right, I know the guy, I should say the name, but not to worry. Back home. Yes. Ring cap detects me coming in. Yes, watching Strictly Come Dancing now. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Monday the 3rd of November 2025. Yes, just a reminder that the primroses are still out into November. That's what I like about them. And I would have done my usual routine. There's the primroses going down the end of the garden to top up bird feeders. But in fact, we're about to take a trip out, and June is giving Robin a lift into Ascot, and they're off shopping afterwards. So they're going to drop me off in the middle of Ascot, going through South Ascot there. There we go, past the railway station. And they're dropping me off so that I can go into the Ascot Durning Library. And then they're off to do shopping. So into the library, and very few photos taken, But yes, there's George Williams in the middle and Keith on the right, PCSO. So, and I did get my pens in what had been WH Smith a few yards along. And then they picked me up on their way back from shopping and past, yeah, in Sunninghill now, going past a few landmarks there. And yes, you see poppies up everywhere now. To 22 Armitage Court, unload the shopping, let the women do that. And I noticed that had shifted. Obviously the foxes had been rummaging for peanuts. So they're unloading the shopping. What am I doing? Well, yeah, checking the tracker. And they're watching tennis now, of course, from Riyadh. And there's Toadie joins me. And hello, Toadie. Yes, I thought, I got up an extra poppy for you in the Comrades Club last night. So where would it fit? Of course, if I glued it on, it would probably stay on, but I don't think that would be a good idea. Yes, he's watching out for things. They're still watching tennis. Yes, looks like I'm off down to the village, probably to eat. And yes, down towards the middle of the village, into the blend and brew. Yes, start with a coffee, then proper meal, and into the Comrades Club for a bit of relaxation. Oh dear, tennis from Rio down there as well. Right, so we're off. Yes, June's picking me up because we're off now to try a few places. I might better get a desk diary because I wasn't able to get that. And she said, well, might well find it at Longacres. So I had a look round. They had their diaries, but not the ones I was looking for, which is a page per day. So she said, oh, well, the next likely place is the Range over at Woking or Knapp Hill. No luck there either. So a few snaps on the way back, including past the Beresdeed into Armitage Court and number 22 and the robot boat and into the house. And there's Toadie still relaxing, asleep practically. Anyhow, there's the pens. I put the pens in where I normally put them in the study. And there's Toadie wearing his poppy. Oh, check the tracker. Yes, got a poppy near it. So that shows the trip that day, including to the Durning Library. Interesting. All those businesses, but it doesn't have basic stuff like the library on there. And yeah, there's the Knapp Hill and home base. Well, inside the Range. And back here. So I thought, well, order it on June's Amazon account. It should come the next day, which is when I'm recording this. Yeah, watching tennis still. Oh, yes, call from Paul. He's got a different phone. He's on O2 now instead of he had been on something. Well, there's a snapshot of what's happening the next day. Trip up to London to my old university. Coming up to 6 o'clock in the evening, listen to the Radio 4 news. And looks like I'm thinking of a trip down to the village again. Force myself. And because it's a Monday, I thought I'll probably go down into the Raj Fuge. And yes, there's the elephants, and there's my 2 onion bhaji and Pepsi Cola. And yeah, oh, I like that bit of sculpture of the burglar outside Ascot Locks. Into the Comrades Club, bit of relaxation there for a while. And then off back home. It's quite pleasant really, weather. It's not, not only dry, but wasn't too cold. Oh yes, there's Toadie with June. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was. Oh, yeah, that's Samantha getting back. She did have a tennis in the evening. It looks like June's watching Strictly Come Dancing. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday, the 4th of November 2025. Well, the main event was Robin and June going up to his old university for a get together for all sorts of things, prize giving and talks on AI and things. Yes, and there's some of the details of it. And here's the photos in the order shot. Yeah, June changed the router on one of their landline phone Wi-Fi networks, and then she gave Robin a lift round the corner to the police PCSO event in South Ascot at the All Souls Church. But as last time, she decided to wait outside. Now, I obviously didn't take many pictures, but it was a lot of things going on inside, and an interesting conversation. I came out again. Don't you want to come in, June? Meet people? No, she spent out the time out there, half an hour or so. And yeah, there's a glimpse of PCSO Keith. And so then back off and through South Ascot and the Swindley pub and coming into Armitage Court to number 22. And yeah, so there's June sorting out that router. She'd received it. I didn't even know that was why our Wi-Fi network had gone down on one of the landlines. The one, you might call it the home landline, the original one. And now looks as though she's got it up and working. Yep, there we go. We've got a Wi-Fi network there, and checked it out with a few things. Oh, there's the details of the login code and things. Oh, a visit from this guy. We'd seen their van parked around the corner. Yeah, you'll see pictures. And I checked them out. And what a coincidence. They seem to have been based over in the Binfield area near my Pikey family friends. Putting it unkindly, that is. The sharp side of the family. And right, so yes, June's watching tennis from Riyadh just for a change. Looks like Robin decided to walk down to the village. Oh yes, there's the terra firma paving. You can look them up. Anybody can do that. Into the blend and brew. Yes, my usual lunch. Oh, there's a glimpse. What a coincidence. PCSO Keith. We crossed paths. Went into the Comrades Club for a little while. Then out. And back home. You see the poppies are going up now. There we go. There's the terra. They're doing work round the corner. As he truthfully said when he came to the door with a brochure that I put on the fridge. Right, tennis from Riyadh. Now we're looking at the details, or June is, of our trip up. Basically, Samantha gave us a lift at the station, that's Sunninghill station, and whereas Google Mapping said, oh, take a route through Reading, no, it was Sunninghill station and the familiar route straight through to Waterloo. And yes, I had to buy my ticket, so it's fine. June had done it with her phone, I think. So here's the train arriving on schedule. We're on the train, go past a few familiar places on the route, including Longcross, where the tank factory was. Get to Waterloo. Again, that was a familiar route for me, going up and down to university in the 60s. So it looks as though we arrived there. It's changed its name. It's now City St George's. It's combined with another university up there. Right now, so we get to where the event is, around the back. There's a lot of new buildings, of course. Yes, free food and drink. they call it networking, and then the main lecture theatre for the event. Yes, you can read the details if you want to, and all professionally filmed and photographed, which I'm sure will be available on their website, because a lot of these guys, if I got it right, come in from other countries, including places like China, to do their degree. That was an interesting conversation, even only for a few minutes at the back end. And yes, and one of the ladies took those pictures of June and myself. Right, so now we're leaving on our way back. Quite a lot of walking, but it was dry. Ah, that's the old trough outside that pub there, that traditionally new students were dunked in. Right, we obviously got to Waterloo Station, looking at the times of trains and air platform, and there we're in Sunninghill. Now we're waiting for Samantha. She got held up by the queue of traffic waiting for the crossing. So we're home, into the house, and yes, my 2026 diary has arrived, and it looks to be what I was hoping for. There's Toadie relaxing in the lounge. I checked the tracker. Yes, anybody could see Robin's journey, and at any time where it was, including going around the university, and it prompted me to take a look at some of those old photos. And there's the horse trough. Anybody could look at the details of that. And there's Toadie. Time for bed. So that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday, the 5th of November 2025. Yes, I guess the most significant thing was Samantha and Robin did under 30 minutes work, starting to clear acorns and leaves from the front lawn. Yes, there's the hard work in progress. Working between us, and then I shifted the stuff down to the end and the right spot. And the squirrels can get to that as well if they want any extra acorns, but look at all the leaves everywhere. Don't know when we'll get around to doing that. And of course, as I've said many times, there's a lot more will be coming down. Yes, hard work, isn't it? But yeah, that was good. So yeah, looked on the CCTV for more evidence. There's discussing how we're going to do it. And yes, it shows the times that we actually started and finished work. Right, what else? Yeah, 1:45. Yeah, adjusted that ring camera at the back, temperature, 15 time of year, adjusted right. Probably got knocked out of position by birds. Oh yes, June rustled me up scrambled egg on toast with salmon. Oh, that was good. That was from the previous day, the trip up to City University, and I checked out this guy who'd given me his business card. Absolutely fascinating. And that's the guy who'd written up the details of the event. Yeah, you can freeze the frames and check the stuff out yourself. It's all on Google, and takes you to the appropriate place. And that's where he's got a business in China. And right, so looks like I'm thinking of going off. Looks like June's chatting to Toadie while watching the tennis on the television. Right, so there's the outstanding work, but that was good progress. And that looks like one of the boys' cars from next door. Into the Comrades Club. Spend a few minutes there. We're relaxing with a glass of Peroni. Looks like it's getting later in the day, so it looks as though we're having a dinner. Now, it's very quiet then, but within half an hour, it was absolutely packed out. Yeah, there's my arancini and a glass of wine. Yes, a few more tables occupied now. That was in the space of, I don't know, less than an hour, certainly. Right, so where next? I'll force myself to go into the Comrades Club. And Yes, they had football. I remember this teasing Adriano because he supports Chelsea. Right, on my way back home, and yeah, June's rustling up food for her and Samantha. Yeah, it looks like what's the time there? 8 o'clock in the evening. Yes, anybody could see where I was. Listen to the Radio 4 news. Toadie's on guard duty, looking for anybody approaching. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Thursday, the 6th of November 2025. Yes, that photo's as good as any. The oak tree still got quite a lot of leaves on it, changing colour. And then the photos in the order shot. Yes, that looks like June went out the back. And yes, just a few snaps around. Yeah, 10 to 12. Temperature coming up to 15. Again, been quite mild the last few days for this time of year. Yeah, leaves everywhere. Little tour down the end of the garden. It'll be the usual routine of topping up the peanut feeders. Back in. And yes, just a few glimpses around the kitchen. No real change in there. And coming up to 12 o'clock. And it's pub lunch today. So Robin relaxes after doing all his chores. And yes, looks like Stuart has arrived. And yes, there he is on the closed circuit TV. And Toadie's keeping an eye on him. So we're off for pub lunch. Yeah, past the windmill. And it's to the Cricketers this time. So let's go past a few places. There, Bagshot Park, then the Cricketers. And yes, thieves operate in this area. I should think they operate in most areas. Yes, so most of us had the curry. I think Richard had the steak and chips and peas. Obviously enjoyable conversations and things. And then back, and the coffee and bickies were around at Stuart's, but I went in, and usual thing, checked emails. Of course, there's a lot of what I would consider important stuff, which isn't not on these photo trails. But yes, June's watching tennis from Riyadh, and anybody could see where Robin was. The public tracker. Yeah, there's the journey. Spending time there at the Cricketers, and then back to Armitage Court. Yes, 22. And then it's going up to Stuart's. So, oh yes, Toadie caught my eye, prowling around the back. So, round the corner, still within Armitage Court, and yes, into Stuart's. No photos there. Oh, well, of course, that was the important thing. June and Samantha joined us, so we had the women there as well, and Faye, of course, Richard's Faye, and Angela. Yes, back into the house. And yes, so it's best part of 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, there was the journey between Stuart, Angela's, and our place. Oh yes, that was job to do. The weekly update of the graphs on the COVID page from the Office of National Statistics, and print out a copy. Don't just rely on what is on the net and backed up. Tennis from Athens, Greece. Listening to the Radio 4 news. June's rustling up food, probably for her and Samantha, so I'm off to the village. And, well, got to eat out occasionally, even if it's every day. So down into the village and into the flame kebab. Yes, there you go, Istanbul on the wall. My usual cheeseburger, onions, and then across the road, and by coincidence, Juba was just coming out of the vape place next door. But yes, they were doing work on the blend and brew. Yes, tennis, and of course it was Crystal Palace versus the Dutch team, Alkmaar. And so there was some banter there, teasing my sister Sally and David. And yes, back home, that looks like Strictly Come Dancing. Yes, again, anybody could see where Robin was. Oh yes, a phone call with Catherine. Everything was fine, and yes, and it's a full moon that reminds me, but a full moon was the day before. So time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Friday, the 7th of November 2025. A reminder that the primroses are still out in what's coming up to mid-November. And here's the photos in the order shot. Yes, starting with Toadie on a table in the patio. Coming up to 11:15. Temperature, yeah, 13 degrees. Not too bad. And yes, there's the primroses near the top pond. And just a few snaps down the garden. I would have done my usual routine of topping up the 5 bird feeders down the end. And looking to see that everything's as expected. Yes, lots of leaves. There'll be lots more later, of course. That was the bird feeder topped up. That picture needs rotating. Oh, that was, yes, a glimpse of fungi coming out. There's another one. Hasn't been rotated. Not to worry. Leave it as it is. And, yeah, back into the lounge. Yeah, processing of the video for the day before. And yes, that was probably checking a place that Saskia and Gary and others had gone to. Yes. Oh, looks like the women are back from tennis. Yeah, showed it on the closed circuit TV because I was busy on something else. Yes, I'm just here. No, that was them coming back on the tracker. Oh, it looks like they're brewing up stuff. Oh, that's Bentley coming to have lunch. Bentley from opposite. Oh, they're watching the tennis from Riyadh, of course. There's Toadie patrolling the front garden. And I'd noticed that had been knocked out by the foxes, and near the back end of these photos you'll see that on the closed circuit TV. There's Toadie supposedly on guard duty on our front, but dozing off to sleep. So I'm off to the village, and let me think where I might be going. Yes, into the Blend and Brew for lunch, and coffee and cake. Yeah, there's the lunch. And then of course into the Comrades Club. Spent some time there. Yeah, it looks like motor racing on. Oh, no, it was motorcycle racing. And yes, enjoyed relaxation and of course conversations with a few people. And oh yeah, I must have spent a lot of time there because it's getting dark. Mind you, it gets dark by 5 o'clock. Yeah, so there's Toadie relaxing with June in the kitchen watching tennis. And there's the closed circuit TV where the fox decides, yes, he moves that so he can get to the peanuts better. Yes, what do you expect? Listen to the Radio 4 news. Yes, something on there. Looks like I'm off to the village again. So I'm not sure what sort of time that is, but yeah, let's guess 6 or 7 o'clock probably. Yes, into the flame kebab by the look of it. Yes. My usual burger, cheeseburger, onions, into the Comrades Club. Yes, spent quite a bit of time there. And then back out and home. Number 22. And yes, June's got the tennis from Riyadh. And there's Toadie. Time for bed because that's the end of the photo trail. Saturday the 8th of November 2025. Yes, I love that photo of Dilly and Eamon in the Comrades Club at the back end of the day. Lovely meeting. Yeah, usual photos in the order shot. And there we have just 12:05. And yeah, 12 degrees. So lovely and mild, relatively speaking, for the time of year. Yeah, it's a record of the garden. There's the primroses in flower, and making my way down the garden to do things like top up the bird feeders, and also have this snapshot of what the garden's like on that day with lots of leaves. Oh, that fungi, which I had shot the day before, but I think that picture came out a bit better. Yeah, that's the bird feeders topped up, all 5 of them. And looking up the garden and around, and yeah, just a record of all those leaves. Sometime we might get round to doing it, especially with some help. Ah, right, looks like I'm thinking of having a walk down to eat at lunchtime. Yes, past all those leaves on the front garden. Work to be done, and Snoopy's robot boat. And, oh yeah, spoke to Jill clearing up leaves on their front drive. And, yes, lot everywhere. And into the village, and into the blend and brew. Yes, to have my coffee and decent lunch. Into the Comrades Club. Yeah, spending a bit of time there as well. And not many photos shot because most people don't want themselves on pictures. And oh yes, June picked me up because I've got an appointment at Royal. What I was about to say, Royal Berks Hospital. No, Frimley Hospital. Have my ears checked, and passed a few landmarks on the way along the A30. This is after going through Bagshot up towards the Jolly Farmer roundabout and into Frimley Park Hospital and the parking. And yes, right, in the waiting room, Robin goes into the audiology section. Lovely meeting there with the lady. Did a very professional job, and we'll see what happens in due course. So now we're on our way back, and June says, well, I need to get petrol, but we're going to Longacres. So again, past a few landmarks. That's the entrance to Bagshot Park. There's what was the police station. There's another entrance. Past the cricketers. Into, yeah, I love that tribute. And into Longacres. Now June's car broke down, and it turned out it was a flat battery, but we managed to get some stuff, so the car wouldn't start. And spoke to Gary. He said, it could be the battery. And she called the AA, and of course I think it was a couple of hours waiting for the AA man, but every crisis is an opportunity, so I spent the best part of that time relaxing near the Sicilian ice cream kiosk. And yes, so looks as though AA guy had done his job, got the battery charged up enough to get home, and we're back home. Yes, there's the material for birds. It was on my shopping list and got that at Longacres. I'll check the tracker. Yes, that shows the time at Longacres and the journey to the hospital, I think. Yeah, that's Longacres, that one. And back home. Just here. 22 Armitage Court. Listening to the Radio 4 News. And you can see it's dark, so it's obviously late. Had a bit of a doze. Woke up. I must have got half an hour's sleep then. And yes, the video WhatsApp chat and with family. And so Sally was a very brief, my sister, very brief meeting because they were out partying again to some tribute concert. Anyhow, time for me to eat. Down into the village, and into the, well, past the Sorrentina, which is very busy, of course, and into the Flame. So, yes, there we go, my usual cheeseburger. And then into the Comrades Club, relaxing there. And, yes, Chelsea won for, oh, there's the photo. That was a lovely long chat. And I briefly stuck my head into Sorrentina, mostly as a bit of a wind-up. I'd been hoping Chelsea might have lost that game, but not to worry. He's a keen supporter, of course. Back home, Junior's watching something on the telly. I'm checking a few odds and ends, including Toadie decides to join me. Yeah, Strictly Come Dancing. So time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Sunday the 9th of November 2025. Yes, that's Toadie near the end of the day, keeping an eye on me. So into the photos in the order shot. Yes, well, that 25 to 11, temperature 12 degrees, nice and mild, of course. Taking the bird feed we'd bought the day before down the end of the garden to the box. There's the primroses out, and yeah, usual thing, snapshot of the garden at that time of the year. Lots of leaves everywhere. Haven't got round to that. And there's where the bird feed goes, and top up the 5 bird feeders. One of my chores for the day. And back to the patio area, and look at that untidy games room. No, we've still not had time to do that. And there's Toadie having a drink with the second Peeing Boy feature is being worked on whenever we get a chance. And that looks like processing of the video for the day before. Listening to the Radio 4 news at 11 o'clock. And what else? Oh, it looks like I'm decided to take a walk down to the village. And realising it's about 12:30, that's probably to have lunch. Yes, there's a record. There's a sign over at the Ascot Day Centre for the Sunninghill Street Fair coming up. Into the Blend and Brew. Yes, have my lovely lunch, including smoked salmon and bacon and scrambled egg on toast. And then into the Comrades Club. Do spend quite a lot of time there. And, well, 0% Peroni on that occasion. And it looks like I'm back off home. And yes, back to 22 Armitage Court. And June's watching tennis, just for a change, and reading a bit of literature. And there's Toadie, relaxing. Yeah, that was tennis from Turin, Italy. 2:45 in the afternoon. Oh, yeah, still boring tennis and Toadie. So, looks like I've got to force myself to go down to the village again. Yes, all those leaves ought to be collected up. And also, yeah, everywhere. Into the Comrades Club. Relax, that's Billy in the back. Yes, I've said it before. He was, oh, that's Adriano. He'd popped over a couple of times and he took a picture of me that isn't in this sequence. He did send it to me. So I forced myself to go into Sorrentina early before a crowd arrived. See, relatively empty. Yes, there's pictures from the Godfather and things, and they were discussing changes to the furniture layout. I did make some suggestions, and yes, my Orancini and Tuba joined me as well, and yeah, it was an interesting chat I had with Paul. And there's a record of my bill, and that was a lovely Dutch couple we met. Never had a chance to chat. And back in the Comrades Club on, and yes, their Pinot Grigio wine is a lot cheaper than anywhere, particularly across the road, unless you buy it in a bottle, of course. Right, there's Toadie. Looks like Strictly Come Dancing is on the TV that June's watching. Anybody could see where Robin was, and Toadie decides to come in and join me. There you are. And June's watching that. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Monday the 10th of November 2025. That's our cat Toadie at the end of the day. Wasn't much in the way of interesting pictures. It's a record of what I was doing, and that included backing up all the photos taken with my camera on the smartphone onto the large hard disk, removable hard disk, and that went okay. And a few snaps around there. Yeah, June's watching tennis from Turin and rustling up food, so it's about lunchtime. And yeah, you can see the time, 10 to 2. And yes, so I thought, I'll take a few snaps out of the garden. It was drizzling with rain. There, 10 to 2, temperature 10 degrees, so not too cold. Bit damp, you can see there's a bit of drizzle there. As I say, it's going to be a boring trial, but at least it's a record if anybody wants to case the joint. Ideally to case it in order to do a bit of work. Yeah, lots of those leaves. And there's the bird feeders topped up. There's one of them, there's 5 of them down there. Leaves everywhere. But an easy job, and we got all the tools for it, including leaf blowers and rakes and all sorts of things. Yeah, there's the laboratory, and coming up the garden again, past the telescope. And I thought I'd go around the side as well. And yes, that's the side of the house. And that's the route the cats can come in and out. And they tend to tap on the door and ask to be let in though. Right, back round to the patio. June's lounger. Yeah, look at everything overgrown. Yeah, looking through the window. Into the lounge. Oh dear. Got a bit wet doing that. And yeah, so that's copying still going on, which went very well. So, time to walk down to the village. The rain had eased off there by then. What there was of it. Past the robot boat. No work on that for practically years now. But what needs to be done is clearly documented. Right, where did I go first? Oh, into the Blend and Brew. My lovely lunch there. And of course, conversations. And June was going to visit Bal, I think. That I went in the Comrades Club, and there she is coming down the road, and I said, oh, pop in, and it was good. This is the sort of thing which there's no record there, because it was mostly the interaction of June with little Milo and his family. Of course, that was only a few minutes for June, but a lot more for me. Looks like the back end of the evening on eating in the Raj Fuj. Yes. Very, very reasonable price that was, to say the least. Into the Comrades Club again, and backwards everywhere, and back home. And yes, the Ring camera alerts, and there's Toadie. Hello, Toadie. June's watching tennis from Turin, or Torino. And anybody could see where I was. Yeah, there's the Ring camera showing me getting back, and back here, and they're still watching the tennis or playing video games or multitasking, doing both. Yeah, so that job has been done, all copied. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 11th of November 2025. I miss this day. Reminded of my granddad, Harold Sharp, who fought in the Somme in the First War. Not many pictures, but when I started I was in with Adriana, who joined me briefly in the Blend and Brew having my lunch. And yes, from across the road and into the Comrades Club and relax and enjoy myself. Had a bit of a doze until I was woken up by Juba joining me. And what's next? Well, I guess, yes, I decided to go home for a little while. And yeah, coincidence of timing, the women were just leaving as I got back. I think they were off to do shopping, and some stuff had arrived, peanuts and bird feed. Oh yeah, that is me caught on the Ring camera arriving. Yeah, 4:15 in the afternoon. Took a few snaps in the garden. Temperature 12 degrees, quite mild. Yes, of course, as it's getting darker, there's the primroses. Yes, I'm a fan of the primroses. As it's getting darker, lights are starting to come on down the garden. Yeah, there's one near the corner. Yeah, leaves everywhere. That seems to have gotten locked down. Probably cats crawling up. Yeah, sorry about that. One of the little garden features. Yeah, put my hand over that lamp to trigger it and it stayed on. If I'd have left it, it'd come on probably within another 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And the other one. So we've got 3 lights on now. Took that picture by accident, I think. Yeah, so just a record of the garden, not much different from the days earlier. Coming back, summer house on the left. And yes, lots of junk, but all a matter of priorities, what gets worked on, if there's time for anybody to work on anything. Yes, I decided to update the family page with long overdue that, oh yeah, totally join me, that extract talking about Grandad Sharp. Decided to take a walk down to the village, probably to eat. Women have got their own arrangements for that, including watching tennis, so I'm off down to the village. And of course, on more than one occasion I was reminded by Adriano, to go into La Sorrentina, and I forced myself. And of course, by going earlier, yes, there was some messages to Juba. I think he had a problem with his phone. There's my arancini, and there's my payment. Yeah, record of that. Into the Comrades Club. Relax. Had a glass of Pinot Grigio there. Oh yeah, bit of rain has come on, but not too bad. Back home. Didn't get too wet. And June's watching tennis. Gosh, that's a surprise. And playing some video card game. And yes, the tracker works. Anybody could see where Robin was. Got back here. And yeah, did a bit of work on moving a copy of material I already had on the website across onto the bottom of the family page. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 12th of November 2025. No photos were shot that day, but I put several older photos here just as a record for my memory. So yeah, police PCSO meeting in Sunninghill Library, and this was shot on an earlier visit. And of course there was Cliff the librarian and Keith PCSO Keith, and that's an earlier picture. It came up in discussion, anyhow, and of course La Sorrentina, and also the Blend and Brew, and for lunch and dinner, and the Sunninghill Comrades Club. And of course, with all these things, it's the people you meet and chat to. So that'll have to do. Thursday, the 13th of November, 2025. Yes, that's Noah sat opposite me in Sorrentina. Main reason I went in. And I was tempted to use that picture, my new use for the old shoes. But here's the photos in the order shot, starting with Toadie prowling around on the table. What's that, 10:15? Coming up to 14 degrees. Yeah, quite pleasant. Usual boring routine for anybody watching this, which is checking the back garden. Yeah, primroses, absolutely lovely. And a few other plants. I'm not sure what the name of those are. June to know. And of course, toadies follow me around, including sitting on the sundial. And yeah, so it's just a record of what the garden was at that time. There's the second pond. Yes, lots of plants. And getting down the end for the usual routine of topping up bird feeders and keeping a record of what the garden's like on that day. Not much different really. Right, that's where the bird feeder's kept. So Toadie's watching what I'm doing, of course, on that little vantage point. And yes, there's the 4 candles. And what do we do next? Oh yes, there we go. First bird feeder topped up, and the other one, and another one, and 5 altogether. So yes, he's still sat there, and I'm thinking that's a good place for something, but I'll come to that. Just a few snapshots, same boring stuff, but useful for anybody who's going to help in property maintenance. Perhaps one simple job is clearing up leaves and cutting back overgrown stuff. Well, or even using the grapes as we once did for making wine. So back into the patio area, into the lounge, and yes, June's watching tennis. Now they are falling apart, and Toadie's watching what I'm doing. You've got to go in the right place for the tools, and I want to put a couple of screws in to hold them. So there we are, there's the electric drill, and yes, Toadie's watching what I'm doing. So 1 screw in each of those is enough to hold it in place so it doesn't get knocked down. Then put some topsoil in, and found those miniature daffodils. So I thought, well, I couldn't see anything else around, but yeah, put those in, water them. And then I took one of the primroses out from the top pond and put that in as well. So, oh yes, we're expecting Gary to come round to work on both cars, diagnose the problem that June's got with her car. I'm relaxing because we've got pub lunch today. Yes, 12 o'clock. And of course all these happening at the same time. Like Gary arrives, and also Stuart take me to the cricketers at Bagshot for pub lunch. Yes, they got all the Christmas stuff out. Enjoyable meal. There's a record. 2 of them had that. 3 of us had curry. And yes, so back to Sunninghill, past the Windmill pub, into Armitage Court. Yes, that's where we're going soon for coffee. They have already, but I'm popping home because there's always odds and ends going on. And yeah, so that was our fan. He was on his way apparently to fix the problem that Gary had diagnosed on June's car. There, he looked at the tracker, only takes a moment. Anybody could see where we were. And when we left and came back home, got here, 22 Armitage Court, and that's where I'm going next. And yes, so over a coffee there, and then of course all these things are happening at the same time, or not deliberately that way. So our fan has arrived, and first I met him, but I thought, how about it? Yeah, let's have a record. It's all on the closed circuit TV, so there he is arriving, and yes, and of course he did the necessary work, and we ended up on a lovely conversation, and I obviously gave him my cards and he gave me some of his. And right, so June's watching tennis, so where am I next? Well, it's obviously getting late in the day, so it looks like I'm down to the village to eat and go past the Sorrentina. I wasn't expecting to eat there, but the chap who dragged me in almost was Noel. Or Noah rather. And there's the bill. There's two bills there, you see. £19 and £90. Well, of course, depends what you want the receipts for, doesn't it? Claiming expenses. Yes, a bit boring in the Commoners Club when in because there was hardly anybody there. So I thought, might as well go back to La Sorrentina and force myself to have a lemon cheesecake and a coffee. There's the bill for that. And right, looks like I'm on my way back home. Yeah, I was lucky there. It'd been drizzling most of the day, but it was dry walking back. So, back into the house, and yes, anybody could see where Robin was, and when he got home, June's watching something on the tennis from terrain. Time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 14th of November 2025. Yes, I chose that photo, which appears near the end of Miriam and Terence, new friends met in La Sorrentina. Here's the photos in the order shot. Started with Samantha and June. Yes, tennis from Turin on the television. Out into the garden in the afternoon. This is 1:45, and temperature 12 degrees. Quite mild, of course. And you'll see leaves everywhere, but at least this is a snapshot of what it was like on that day. Primroses that I'm very much a fan of. They seem to flower all through the year. It's where we are. Right, down the garden. I probably topped up the bird feeders earlier, but this gives you a snapshot of what it was like on that day. And what have we got here? Yeah, there's one bird feeder with peanuts in. And, well, not just peanuts, it's those dried worms as well. And, yes, quite like that feature. My old shoes with plants in and some fungi. Yeah, looking up the garden. Yeah, coming back up the garden. And, yes, that pond's got low despite a bit of rain. Oh yes, a visit by Raj. I spent a few minutes, and then I was looking at the rain radar, see whether I'd have a problem walking down to the village. Yeah, possibly later in the day, but yeah. So Raj leaves. I'm thinking of going down to the village probably for lunch, and they've decided to do theirs, including yes, watching tennis from Turin or Torino. So I'm off down to the village, past all the leaves still to be collected up from the front, and the robot boat. No work on that for ages. Look at all those leaves in the road, and there's the white bus. Got a glimpse of that, and into the village, and yes, into the blend and brew, and I popped across and got some sandwiches. Don't tell anybody, but somebody turned a blind eye because there wasn't any food, because Abhishek was out for an appointment, but he was back soon after. Anyhow, yeah, as you can see, it's getting later. My hair is getting darker. Popped into the Comrades Club, little bit of time there, and looks like I'm probably on my way home. Yes, I was. So there we go, and come in. Yes, still got tennis. Oh, from Riyadh now, and yeah, 10 to 5, and looks like I'm thinking of going down there again. Yes, tennis from Turin then. Trouble is, there's tennis on the television all the time. Right, down into the village, and yes, Comrades Club for a little while. Not very long. And probably thinking of where to eat. How about La Sorrentina? And yes, that was thoroughly enjoyable. And yes, arancini, my favourite dish, and cheesecake. And yes, there's the bill. Oh, it had to be done by credit card for a change, but no problem. And into the Comrades Club a little while, but very quiet there. So I thought, perhaps I'll go back into the Sorrentina again. I'm glad I did, as it turned out. You got a limoncello? What, a whole bottle? And there's my new friends. Glimpse of. Back into the Comrades Club. Yeah, spent a bit more time there. Somebody has to do it. Making my way home. And yeah, there we go, 22 Armitage Court. Into the house. Yes, they're still watching tennis. And looks like Samantha's rustled up some food. Oh yes, that was me detected coming in the door. Yeah, checking the thing. Yes, back here. Anybody could see. Time for bed. And that's the end of the photo trail. I did warn you they'd be boring and long photo trails, but let's go back into the house now, because we're going to run into material that was shot probably a couple of years ago on two subjects. One was global warming. There's Samantha just going back upstairs with her cup of tea. Yes. And here's June. Yeah, still watching the tennis. Yeah, so two subjects. One is global warming, and in short, you haven't seen anything yet, and it's going to happen. And those prophetic words of James Lovelock. And the other subject was Robin's experiences with the DVLA and suggestions. That's the Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency in the UK. But we're going to run into that material, and I think that whole material starts at about here. Now, what I put on the screen, because global warming is rearing itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert, shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world's governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelocks said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired, happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet, because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Lovelocks launched his Snoop Loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes. That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including the live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worried for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request, but when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent, and of course the DVLA collects a lot of money, and there are probably other things as well, but as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this I can't afford to get overloaded. We've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday. That'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen, and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha, and here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive, and through into the lounge, and retired, happy, and spending the kids' inheritance. So let's wrap up this long video by saying, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.